Ravens flock. The flock rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. So I'm telling you now, it's about to go down. The podcast, the flock rundown. Ravens, baby. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
Appreciate you, Ray. What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown. The Ravens just beat the Houston Texans 25-9. Unfortunately, we got some terrible news that we'll get into, but shout out to Bully Baltimore 9297. He had the lowest amount of yards at 72 for the contest guess. Obviously, JK got hurt and finished with 37. So the Ravens win, but unfortunately, it's just dampened with injury news. J.K. Dobbins confirmed torn Achilles. He's out for the year. This guy just can't catch a break. The Ravens just seem to not be able to catch a break. The injuries just keep rolling. There's a lot more injuries to get into as well, but we have confirmed J.K. Dobbins is out for the season. So Justice Hill and Gus Edwards are going to have to step up. We'll probably pull Melvin Gordon up from the practice squad. Keaton Mitchell comes back in week 5. We could add another veteran. Kareem Hunt's still available. I could see that making sense. But we're going to have a running back by committee once again. And life without J.K. Dobbins once again. You know, it just continues to happen. We also had injuries on the offensive line. Ronnie Stanley, knee injury. And Tyler Linderbaum got rolled up on as well. We're still waiting on news for the severity of those. I'm not sure. We'll probably have more information tomorrow when the MRIs come out, but they also went down. Marcus Williams also went down on defense with a shoulder injury. He was ruled out right away. Just doesn't seem good. We definitely have lost way too many guys in week 1. But let's get into the specifics of the game. We did win the game. That's the positive news, right? Like it's not all negative. We still have a lot of great players and a lot of talent. It was sloppy game, but we got rolling in the second half. Offense looked all right. Offensive line did not play well the majority of the game, especially that first half. Lamar was just under pressure consistently. We couldn't pick up a blitz. It reminded me of the Miami game last year. Obviously, we turned it around and we didn't finish out the same way, but it reminded me of that Miami game where they're just running zero blitz. They're just bringing the house, and we can't pick it up. You know, the offensive line can't pick it up. And I understand that most of them, all of them, didn't play in the preseason, so there's some chemistry to build there. But now with the Stanley and Linderbaum injury, are we still going to have these chemistry issues moving forward? Hopefully they're not out long term, but definitely not impressed with the overall offensive line play. And I think that led to Lamar not having his best day either. Now, obviously, Lamar still needs to protect the ball. He did not need to force that throw in the red zone or almost in the red zone and throw that interception. He was trying to force it to Zay, make something happen. Lamar also was running kind of carelessly with the ball, and it got popped out one time. Zeitler fell on it, thank God, but just can't have these turnovers, especially when we're driving and we're about to put up some points, or you could at least get 3 points, but instead you turn the ball over. Those things just can't happen. I'm going to chalk that up to rust on Lamar's end and just being under pressure, right? Like the offensive line did not have a good day. And that leads to Lamar making some mistakes as well, trying to make some things happen. The receivers don't have enough time to get open, but we got the job done. We were able to move the ball enough. And on the bright side, Zay Flowers is that guy. We've been saying it all offseason. He's proven it again. 9 catches for 78 yards. He's just very involved, probably more involved than I even thought, and that could be because Andrews is not there as well. But I think Zay is going to continue to have a really important, crucial role in this offense all season long, and his whole career that he's with Baltimore, I think he's going to be heavily involved. I loved what I saw from Zay. He was just as explosive and quick and great at run after the catch. He was as advertised. Everything that we saw in the preseason and throughout the offseason and in training camp, dude showed up in the game, you know? So shout out to Zay Flowers. Shout out to Odell as well. I know his stat line doesn't jump off the page, but he drew 2 huge pass interference calls that changed the field position and then also had 2 big catches. He had that first down catch on the sideline to move the chains, and then that nice 30-yard catch over the shoulder where he just tracked it from behind and caught it. That was a great catch, too. I loved what I saw from Odell. I know he wasn't super involved target-wise or volume-wise, but I think that he's still going to be that big play, the red zone guy that we need, a guy that we can go to that we can trust or that Lamar can trust and to get a play done. And definitely love what I saw from Odell. Bateman wasn't insanely involved. He had a catch early, but I liked what I saw from him. I just think the whole offense is going to gel a lot more as these weeks go. And this was probably the worst of this offense that we're going to see. Obviously, there's some O-line concerns with Stanley and Linderbaum hurt. I mean, that's a fact. I'm not confident in the offensive line moving forward if they're not there, but I trust that we have a lot of playmakers, and if we can just give Lamar some time to make the right read and let these receivers get open, then we should find some success. And we were able to get enough points on the board today. I just think it was fortunate that we were playing a young Houston Texans offense that wasn't able to put up a lot of points in our defense, and we were able to capitalize and get some of these points. But it definitely wasn't a strong showing overall. We have a lot of room to improve, and I think we will. I'm not worried about the offense. I think our offense is going to be a lot better than it was last year. Now the O-line's a bit of a concern, though, so I do want to get that shirt up. And then with losing J.K., we took a massive hit in the run game. I mean, J.K. was dominant early in this game. And it's just a shame, man. I feel terrible. This keeps happening to J.K. Dobbins and keeps happening to our team in general. It's just year after year, we just constantly fighting these injuries. But I'm confident that Mark Andrews will be back next week. That's going to lift this offense tremendously. I mean, the tight ends kind of went missing today. Isaiah Likely had an early catch. Charlie Kohler dropped another catch, and that was it. The tight ends just weren't involved. But that won't be the case when Mark's here. You know, Lamar and Mark have such a connection, and I think he really missed him out there today. And Mark's going to really draw some attention to the middle of that field, which should open up more space for these receivers. They're going to continue to get Zay involved in a multitude of ways. I liked what I saw from Todd Monken's play calling. Later in the game, I wasn't thrilled with the calls. I felt like we were being ultra conservative. We didn't want to look down the field at all, and I know we had a lead, and maybe they were just scared that the offensive line play wasn't going to hold up enough to go downfield, and it was just too risky, and we might turn the ball over more, so we just went really conservative, couple screens to Zay, running the ball, just very, very conservative late, and I know that's a safe way to play, but you play a good team that way, give them that many chances to keep getting the ball back, they're going to convert and score some of those, and now all of a sudden you're in like a one-possession game. So I don't want to see that play calling moving forward, just very conservative, quick throw, not going anywhere. The Texans knew exactly what we were doing towards the end of that game, and hopefully that's just because we were up a couple possessions, and they were worried about this O-line holding up, so you know, we can't continue to have Lamar get sacked or just out there running for his life because he's at a high risk for another injury as well if he just keeps running around trying to be Superman again. This is what I talked about in the preview episode, that we have so many weapons and such a stacked offense that Lamar doesn't have to be Superman, but it kind of felt like last year a little bit, especially in the first half. He was just running for his life. He had no time. I was just getting flashbacks to last season, and I was like, man, this cannot happen again. We have to figure out a way to pick up this blitz. I don't understand. We have a great offensive line, but the pass protection was awful today. And now with these injuries, I'm even a little bit more concerned. So hopefully they're just not out for a long time. The defense stepped up, though. I thought they looked great. Patrick Queen, Roquan Smith, just absolutely dominant in the middle of the field. We got a David Ajabo strip sack so we can end the preseason scares. You know, I feel like David Ajabo is going to continue to make plays for us, man. You know, 2 games that he's played in the regular season, he's got a strip sack. This guy is going to be a force for us. I think Clowney looked good. He was getting pressure. He was setting the edge. Our run defense was great overall. Michael Pierce, Travis Jones looked solid. Travis Jones had that roughing the quarterback call, which sucked, but, I mean, overall, the defensive unit played great. The pass rush was concerning me in the first half of the game for sure. We were just not getting enough pressure, but we started to dial up more pressure later in the game. We were bringing more guys. I was very confused by the cornerback actives and inactives and who started. I mean, we went with Brandon Stevens and Ronald Darby outside as our starting corners, and then our Darius Washington in the slot. Jalen Armour Davis and Arthur Mullet were inactive. Rocky Ya-Sin was active, so I was like, okay, he's going to be an outside starter, right? and he barely even plays. But Harbaugh did address it after, and he just said that he just came back to practice, and they're still kind of working him back in. He's still getting back up to speed and getting back up to full strength. So hopefully we just start seeing more and more Rock Ya-Sin, and hopefully he's performing, Same with Jalen Armour-Davis. I mean, you're not making the active game day. It's just concerning. We are already missing Humphrey, and we thought we had some solid pieces with Rock Ya-Sin, and he doesn't even play. And, what do they think about Arthur Mullet? This guy made the 53-man roster, and he's still out. So how much do they believe in this guy? He must be incredible in practice or something. I'm very confused about the cornerback room, but I do expect Rock Ya-Sin to come back. Harbaugh pretty much confirmed that they're just easing him back into it. And then hopefully Marlon Humphrey's back next week or the week after. I mean, we play Joe Burrow and the Bengals next week, and I know Burrow didn't have a great game and they got blown out by the Browns today, but I feel like historically Joe Burrow does have kind of bad starts. He had that 4 or 5 interception game a few years back, and I just know that the Bengals are way too talented to go against this cornerback room without Humphrey, without Rock Ya-Sin playing, or Jalen. I mean, it's just this cornerback room that we currently have probably isn't going to hold up against Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and Joe Burrow making these reads. I'd be very concerned next week if this is the exact cornerback room that we rolled out there. So I'm really hoping that Marlon Humphrey can get back. I'm sure Andrews will get back, so the offense should get a lift there. And then we got to hope Marcus Williams is all right. He was out quick with a shoulder injury. I didn't love that Patrick Queen in his press conference was like, let's have some prayers for J.K. Dobbins for his mental, and also prayers for Marcus Williams for his mental. And I'm not reading into that too much. Obviously, we want to pray for those guys and wish them the best and a speedy recovery. But why would his mental be messed up if it's not a serious injury? If Marcus Williams is fine and he's back next week, he shouldn't, his mindset should be fine. So it scares me a little bit that Marcus Williams' injury might be a little bit more serious, and especially because they ruled him out pretty fast with a shoulder injury. And that would just be a huge loss to this back end, to this secondary. I mean, we basically dealt with the majority of last year's regular season without Marcus Williams. We just can't afford to not have him there. He's a huge piece to that secondary, especially when all these cornerbacks are out. We need Marcus Williams and Kyle Hamilton back there. We need that. And the injuries just continue to roll, and it's depressing. I'm happy about the win. There were some bright moments in this game, but once again, we leave this game with a ton of injuries, and it's just flashbacks to these last 2 seasons. So I'm trying to stay positive here, but I'm sure you guys feel a little bit of the same way. I mean, it's just we can't get out of a game healthy, and we're losing key guys. We can't lose Marcus Williams. It just can't happen. I know Geno Stone's solid, but we can't lose Marcus Williams. He's a playmaker. He's always around the ball, and he gives a safety net to these corners who are going to be exposed out there. And once we play more high-powered offenses, we'll see it a lot more. It'll be clear as day. They were trying to cover Nico Collins and Robert Woods and a rookie QB and C.J. Stroud, who we were able to pressure and confuse a little bit, which I expected. I'm not surprised that our defense looks so good against a rookie QB. I'm just worried moving forward against the Bengals or the more high-powered offenses, or if it's something long-term, how can we get to the playoffs and compete for a Super Bowl when we have no secondary? It's just doesn't feel good. It does not feel good, but we'll see what the MRIs say. We'll see how serious it is. Hopefully it's not serious at all, and all these guys are back next week. That'd be great. Odds are that's probably not the case, but that would be amazing. So definitely praying for that. But overall, great win for sure. I definitely don't want to dampen the win. It's just the injuries, and especially this J.K. Dobbins news is a punch in the gut for sure. I feel terrible for him. I just wish the guys could stay healthy and we could really see what this team has. But I do expect week after week this team to come more together, especially the offense. The offense is going to look a lot better. I'm not mad at what I saw from the offense. A couple careless turnovers. The offensive line definitely was letting up too much pressure. Those are facts. But the offense is going to gel more and more as these weeks go. They have not played together in an actual game. So they're getting a lot more time together now, and they'll be able to study this film, make adjustments. We have playmakers all over the passing game. I trust Lamar to have a better game. I didn't think his reads were bad by any means. His throws weren't bad. Lamar was accurate. He just didn't have a lot of time, and then he was a little careless with the football early in the game, especially with the fumbles, with the interception in the red zone. I mean, you just can't have those things at all. The turnovers got to stop. But I trust that he'll make that adjustment and be smarter with the football. And I love what I saw from Zay Flowers. I mean, this dude's as advertised. He's going to be a star in this league. And yeah, on to next week, Cincinnati Bengals. They're going to be fired up. It's at home. They just got stomped by the Browns. They need a division win. They can't be starting 0-2 in the division against the Browns and Ravens, so we're probably going to get the Bengals' best shot. Joe Burrow had a terrible game today. I'm not expecting that next week against us, but we'll be doing a game preview and stuff later in the week. I just wanted to hop on here and get my post-game thoughts tonight right after the game. I was going to go live, and I am going to go live after these games from here on out, but I didn't realize that I had to click the YouTube Go Live button, and then it starts a 24-hour timer review process. So can't go live until later tonight, so I figured I'd just do a post-game video like I usually do. But I will be going live after every single game the rest of this season. Mark my words. I'll have that ready. Just some technical difficulties, or not even really. I was prepared. I just didn't realize that I had to click the Go Live button ahead of time, but whatever. Figured it out. We'll have that figured out next week. I'm excited to chop it up and go live with you guys. Let me know your thoughts about the game. Let me know your thoughts about these injuries. We can mourn together. We can talk about it together. I'm not feeling great after that game, but a win's a win. And we still have, the majority of this team here, and I only expect them to get better week after week. So it's not all doom and gloom. We just got to get healthy. We got to stay healthy. We've been saying that for years. Just wishing it would happen. I just want to see a healthy Ravens team compete. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. Appreciate you tuning into another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of the day of football, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.